Sawyers. This is Sports Shorts Radio. It's the fastest 2 hours on the radio, covering it all from the Fighting Tigers of LSU to the tracks of NASCAR on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now, here's Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel.
And welcome, everyone, to a nice, rainy, cloudy, ugly edition of Sports Shorts. You don't need the headsets, Joel, but you don't mess up that pretty little hairs you got up there.
I'm growing it out a little bit.
Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis back from overseas. He'll be with us here on Sports Shorts today. We'll have Buzzy Heidel a little bit later on in the show, former 2009 national champion. A lot to get to in the world of sports as we've got the Pelicans are in the playoffs. It looks like the coaches and GMs and everybody are going to get extensions. We've got New Orleans Saints news to get to, which makes Joel happy. We'll talk about some of the signings and offseason news. Also, LSU baseball. The Tigers are above 500 in the SEC. They've been around that 500 mark. The Tigers looking good and above 500. Also, the Raging Cajuns starting to play a little bit better as well. We'll talk about Tony Robichaux's bunch and a whole lot more in the world of sports as the NBA playoffs are in full effect.
Well, they haven't started yet.
Well, today. I mean,
full effect would kind of be like it's already started.
Well, here's the thing about this show. It's a little bit of a juggling act. You know, as this Saturday we're doing our show from 8 to 10 a.m. because of some programming that's on after us today, but we'll be back in next week in our normal 10 to noon slot. But not only do we have the live radio piece on Saturday mornings here on ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge, but you also have
the TV
television,
show,
which airs Saturday, Sunday, Monday nights. It's a little bit of a
well,
wiggle.
I used to do a TV show, and I won't name any names, but it was a Saturday morning and a Sunday morning show. But we taped on Friday morning.
You definitely don't want to name names.
No.
And that would be bad. It would ruin your credibility.
I did that show for 4 years.
Yeah.
For 4 years. Every Saturday morning, every Sunday morning. But we taped both of those shows on Friday. And I had to do a sports segment on each show. So a Saturday morning sports segment and a Sunday morning sports segment. And I can't tell you how hard that was to write those scripts on Thursday night. Because you got to have a teleprompter for Friday morning. So that was tough. That you had to get very creative. So when you're watching it on Sunday, it didn't seem like it was being taped on Friday.
Did you speak with a British accent like your host of that show?
No.
Was there any touching?
I'll just say this: I was the most masculine thing on that show, and that tells you a lot.
Yeah, if you're in the Baton Rouge area, you know what that show is all about.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I never could imagine something like that going on.
Yeah.
It was a business thing for me, but I had a lot of fun on that show. We had a lot of fun, and we would rate movies, and it really got me my start. So, but at the end of the day,
don't bring that up. Don't bring that up around Tony. Joel, we'll have Joel's back with us after a long trip overseas.
I have no idea what's going on in the world of sports, by the way. I really don't.
What's going on in Indonesia? Because that's where you've been the last 2 weeks.
Well, before we get into that, I got a text. Again, every time you say USL, I get a text from Dick.
From your father-in-law.
And Dick.
I mean, not your father-in-law, your stepdad.
Stepdad.
Yeah, there you go.
But he gets angry.
No, when I say UL,
he
gets angry.
No, I think it's USL.
No, I don't say USL.
He says, ask Ronnie why he insists on calling USL Louisiana.
Yeah,
that's right.
There you go.
So, he gets, he's literally, no, look, this is not a joke to him. He gets angry.
Yeah. Tell Dick it's because
he's listening.
Tell Dick
Clearly.
It's because they help pay my rent, and I'll call them whatever they want.
That's what I keep
If they want me to call them the #1 university in Louisiana, then that's what I'm gonna call them.
What do you mean they're paying your rent?
Because they pay me to do games and things. I mean, they tell Jumbo Sports Network.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, they pay me more than LSU does. So I mean, quite frankly, I'll call them whatever they want.
What kind of peanuts we talking here?
No, it's just more than LSU. That's all that matters. $3. $3.
Is it 500?
And LSU pays me $1.
I mean, how many games are you going to do for UL this year?
This year, UL, we did a contract where they paid Jumbo Sports Network to do 14 games?
14 games.
12 games, maybe?
12 games.
Maybe 12 games at least.
Okay. Early in the season, late in the season?
No, like right now. Like, I mean, right, yeah.
Is that why you're wearing red? Is that the red?
No,
I mean, you're saying
listen,
that you get more from them.
Back 12 years ago, I was a sideline reporter for Alabama football for the Alabama Cable Network. And that whole season, home and away, I traveled with the team and did the sidelines for University of Alabama. That year, Roll Tide. You know, I mean, they pay. It's a job. It's an absolute job. Being loyal to one team is a fan thing. I love me some LSU to the day I die, but if McNeese hires me, then I'll be a McNeese Cowboy fan. You know, it just is what it is. If Wooden Haven Furniture is a sponsor of the show, I'm all about Wooden Haven Furniture Company. If some other furniture store becomes a sponsor of the show,
you're kind of a prostitute.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you think Matt Moscona would eat someplace other than Pluckers if they sponsor the show? Yes, he would. He would eat the chicken from Popeyes if they sponsored his show. So that's the bottom line. Even though Pluckers is very good.
Popeyes is pretty good too. It just depends on when you catch him.
Your stepdad's an intense dude. I mean, let's face it. He's not a normal sports fan. He is extremely intense. It's extremely personal. I would not want to be around him if LSU loses a game till the next time they play. He's a miserable person.
Let me just tell you, this is how bad it is for him. He can't watch a live event for LSU. He will have a heart attack and die.
Right.
So he has to tape everything. He has to tape everything and then watch it at a later time, hopefully not finding out what the outcome of the game was. But if they lose, that's good. It lets him simmer down before he actually watches the show. He can't watch a live LSU event because he will die.
Well, and that's kind of like you with the Saints.
I'm not.
You've gotten better.
At death
no,
yet.
you've gotten better.
Well, I've gotten older. I've matured. I've realized that they don't pay my rent like you were talking about.
There was one. I think you and I watched a couple of games together. I know at Ice House Bar and Grill, which, by the way, we'll talk about. The Ice House team won the Masters Calcutta.
Wow.
We need to go talk to them about a sponsorship because I'll tell you how much he won in a little bit.
He won some money.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Lots. So anyway.
Well, you can't just do that and move on.
No, you can't because, I mean, is it you can't. It's
you
not
can't disclose?
Official. It's not an official. Yeah.
So we're talking about Ben or the whole group of people?
Yes, you were talking about Ben. Ben's a big winner. He had Patrick Reed and winning the Masters. And
wow.
Yeah. Congratulations to Ben and the
Ben.
Ice House
I do need to call him then.
Gang. But anyway, I had the I don't call it the pleasure. I just happened to be watching a Saints game with Joel 2 or 3 times over the last few years. The first time I made the mistake, though, I invited you to my house to watch the Saints game. I thought we'd have some chips and dip, maybe a little a cocktail or two.
Yeah. Let's explain more what you thought would happen. If I come over to watch a game with you, this was probably 4 years ago.
Yeah.
At least 4 years ago.
About 3-4 years ago.
Well, we've been working together for 5, so that had to be early.
Actually, we've been working together for 6. Coach.
6?
Yeah.
Holy cow. So 6 years. So it had to be at least 5 years ago because you would have realized early on.
No, it was like 3 or 4 because, I knew you were a fan, but I didn't know how miserable you were to watch a game with. That's a difference.
So what did you expect to happen?
So,
you thought chips, dips,
I thought,
a couple of drinks,
I thought
chit-chat?
Yeah, I thought we'd talk about the world, our personal lives, maybe break down some football, maybe channel surf, what's over here?
Channel surf during the game?
Commercial. Let's go over to San Diego game. Let's see and come back. Yeah. And I don't remember the game. I don't remember the outcome. I don't remember any of that. I just remember each and every play, you had a comment. Each and every play, whether it was a first down, whether it was an incomplete pass, whether it was a sack, you were not happy. You were not content. There was a lot of, there was a lot of that. Or there was a lot of, let's say he gets 10 yards on a slant.
Should have got 11. Should have got 11.
Why did he lean forward and get
one more?
Or
get one more.
Oh.
I mean, how hard is it? You run if you're gonna go run. If you need 10 yards, you run 11. You run 11. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do in football. Yeah. You don't run 10 because you come back to the ball. That means you're going to end up at 9. You run 11, you get 10. Yeah, I get it. That's kind of how it rolls.
And
my
dad Gus, Gus Rance, who lives over in Lafayette. He and my brother.
So he's similar.
Y'all would get along great.
So
I can't watch football
is it such a problem? Oh, you can't watch.
No.
But it wasn't like shocking. You've seen it before. You've seen it before.
Yeah, but I mean, my dad's getting older, and so when you start getting, in the upper 60s, around that 70 mark, you get a little more of a pass, right? You get a little more. He's been through a lot of bad Saints, over the years since the 60s.
Yeah.
You're not as old. You're taking the Rejuva-Me medical injections and things. I just think that you don't need to act that way. And but I feel like you've gotten better. I feel like the world has broadened for you over the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And you don't have all your eggs in the Saints basket.
I had all my eggs.
Happiness.
I had all my eggs in the Saints basket for about 20 years.
Yeah.
And it aged me, Ron.
Yeah.
I remember. I memean, I think if it wasn't for the Saints, my hairline would be about right here. Like this would be my hairline, right? Like I'm telling you, there's some things.
Good chance.
This giant crack right down the middle of my forehead that wouldn't probably be there.
Have
There's
you
a
ever
lot
done
of
Botox?
I'm sorry.
Have you ever done Botox?
Yeah, I've done it, but you're not going to fix that.
I mean, that's just too much to fix.
That's part of a scar.
Okay.
So I have a scar right here, which created that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from a skateboard accident.
Of course you did. Of course.
It was a brutal accident. But
how old were you when you did that?
I was a senior at St. Paul's. I was a senior at St. Paul's. So I was about 17, 18 years old. I was on a half pipe and went for too big of an air. And the board went out from under me.
A half pipe, that's the little the ramp, the U ramp.
This was a 10-foot half pipe in Covington, Louisiana, 1988. And I went up. I was like, I'm going to get the big air. It was the biggest air ever. I'm going to get huge.
Yeah.
So I dropped in.
And they all laughed at you.
I dropped in and caught one on this side. I came down. I pumped to go, and I pumped a little bit too much. Board went shooting up.
Oof.
And I went flying, hit the coping, slid down to the ramp, got to the bottom. The board was still coming. I was on the ground like this. Board came down, hit the flat bottom, came back up and hit me right in the eye.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well.
So that was
so
no
Rejuva-Me can fix that.
Did you ever see that show? I forget the name of it. Was when they had those stars that would fly around and it would stick people in the forehead. It would suck the blood out of their forehead.
Never saw that.
Can't remember the name of the movie,
Not
but it
many
had
other people did
I
either.
wish I could remember the name of the movie. It's like Phantom or something like that. Phantom.
Yeah, that sounds.
It was like this star that would fly around and it would stick in your forehead and it would like drill a hole and suck the blood out.
Never heard of that
Okay,
at
that's
all.
what it looked like. It would look like a stream of blood just shooting out like that. It was unbelievable. I'll never forget it, Ron. Never forget it.
How did that tie into what?
It was something to do with the Saints.
I was asking about Botox, and then
yeah.
Go back to
the crack.
But then the how you put the Saints in the basket.
So the
aged
Saints.
you lost your hair.
I've changed. I'm a better man. My heart's doing better.
It's like doing a show with Uncle Charlie, the uncle, who's got the dementia and he's
Why
running
do you
around
keep asking me back to the show? I mean, can you not get quality people on this show?
No, I can't.
Unbelievable.
Not at 8 a.m. Not when Cade Voss-San moves me to 8 a.m. I can't.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's the 8 a.m. move? You couldn't?
Well, just, 8 a.m.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the phone call. I got a text yesterday, I need you at 8.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be there.
There you go.
I just got back in the country, Ronnie. I mean, I don't really know much about sports right now. I know a lot about.
Before we go to,
I know a lot about rugby. Watched a lot about that.
Before we go to break, what do they watch in Indonesia? What's the number one sport on TV?
Oh, it's soccer. It's soccer over
Hands
there.
down,
Yeah,
soccer.
Every I just remember my partner over there.
What's his name?
His name's Kento.
Kento?
Kento.
Not Pinto. Kento.
And Kento is doesn't have a TV at his house.
Okay.
So when we were at the hotel, I would invite, as a Kento, let's go up to the hotel.
That's a big deal for them to watch TV?
Well,
or they just choose not to?
No, it's just he has other priorities. So, I mean, when he came into the room, turned it right to soccer. I mean, it was right to soccer and wanted to watch soccer. And then if we were passing a TV screen, like at a restaurant.
Is he related to Tony Lightfoot?
No.
No,
doesn't know. No, doesn't know.
Doesn't know Tony?
No.
He's not.
I don't think
so. What league do they? Because I'm learning about soccer.
Soccer is a very interesting sport. I mean,
what league do they watch in Indonesia?
I'm probably the Premier League and anything.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that's their thing. That's like the number one thing. But they also have an Indonesian league as well.
Okay.
There's an Indonesian league where there's teams on different islands and they compete. And there's teams in.
Do you understand soccer? Like when you watch the news over there, you get it.
I don't watch a lot. I mean, they have some TV over there that speaks English, and I'm usually on those channels, and it's not usually sports related. Like CSI will come on if you're in your hotel. CSI will pop up, and you're like, I never watch CSI.
Right, but you love
it's
it
in
then.
English,
But
so
you
I'm
love
going to
it
watch
then.
it.
So Indonesia, they watch soccer. Is there a second? Is there a sport that's second as far as on television?
I don't know. I mean, maybe
Like, can
rugby.
you get college football?
No.
Can you get anything from the U.S. over there?
No.
No
Believe me,
MLB,
I tried.
NBA.
I was there in October of last year, and I had to download something to get a live stream of the Saints versus, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Carolina.
Right.
I was there in October of last year, and I was so nervous that I wasn't going to be able to watch the game. And of course, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning for me over there. So I was able to get the live stream, but I went to sports bar after sports bar in Bali. They're called sports bars. Barb's Sports Bar. And I mean, every TV is Australian rules football and soccer. And I'm like, hey, can I get the NFL? And they're like, oh, well, what are you talking about, mate? We don't have it. We don't have football. This is the football we have.
Right.
You know, there's some Australians, obviously,
Yeah.
at Barb's Sports Bar in Bali.
Right.
No American football.
Very good impersonation. Much better than Tony's Scottish thing. He
Oh,
did.
yeah?
Yeah, he did that the other day. It wasn't
Terrible.
very good. I didn't even try hard. Joel Davis, Ronnie Rance here in the Sports Short studio. This is the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio. We're presented by LeBears Casino in Baton Rouge. Buzzy Heidel will be joining us a little bit later in the show. We come back, we'll talk some Pelicans basketball. The Pelicans in the playoffs. I bet you didn't think they were going to make the playoffs when Boogie Cousins went down a few months ago. We'll talk about NBA, LSU baseball, and a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere. Sports Shorts
And
will roll on
Lambondang.
right after this.
Come celebrate 125 years of LSU football with us.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
cocaine
know that.
partying.
Well, you would
the
definitely
disco
know about all
clubs
that.
and all that back in the day. Yeah. That was one of the islands down in the Bahamas.
You know what Love
Caribbean.
Gun's about?
Love Guns?
Oh, yeah.
Who
Love
sings
Gun.
that? Who sings that?
Kiss, man. Come on.
Oh, I say, yeah.
right.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know what it meant when I was
if
7.
If it's Gene Simmons, you got to know what it's about. Everything's about that.
Actually was sung by Paul Stanley.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Was he the
the
one
star,
with the star,
one star
on the
yeah.
eye?
Yeah.
By the way, I saw Kiss a few years ago, not pretty recently, just for like a few minutes.
For a few minutes.
Yeah, because I couldn't take the whole thing. It
You're
was
kidding
terrible.
me, right?
Well, I just wanted to see the pyro. I wanted to see the stage
where
show.
was this at?
It was in New Orleans. I wanted to.
How did you go in and watch a part and then leave? Did you have tickets? Are you working there?
Yeah,
you were working
I
the
was in
event.
and out. I was
okay,
in and
go
out.
ahead.
But I wanted to see the stage. I wanted to see the pyro, and I wanted to see the Gene with the blood coming out of his mouth.
Well, that usually happens about midway through.
Nah, it happened pretty early.
He did it early?
Yeah, I want to say. I feel like 20 minutes in, 25
Really?
minutes
You
in.
got
he did
into it? Okay.
Yeah, but once you see all right, there they are. They're in costume. All right, bam, they're loud. Bam, there's the pyro. And then, Gene with the blood. Once that happens, that's it. Because
how do you? That's not it, man. It was one of the greatest concerts.
Detroit Rock City.
Great. They usually open up with that one.
That's that song and Beth. That's all I got. That's all I care about. Beth and
there's so many great Kiss songs.
There's not any great Kiss
Yes,
songs.
there is, dude. I mean, there's so many. I mean, there's. I mean, they end it with Rock and Roll All Night. I mean, that usually I had the second row. I had second row.
Oh.
It was 19.
Punch me in the face.
No, it
if
was
I had
2000.
second
It
row.
was 2003, I think. And this was a reunion tour. And I got to go see him twice in Lafayette and in New Orleans. And I had a friend at Ticketmaster. And I got front row, second row, because the front row is usually for it's usually for the good lookings.
The mentally challenged.
The good lookings.
Is that where you
the good
were?
lookings. I'm not the good lookings.
Yeah.
So
for
with stuff hanging
jeans,
out.
10,000.
Exactly. So I was in dead center. I took my buddy Chris Cordell and Lloyd, my buddy Lloyd De Silva, and they didn't know who Kiss was. They had no idea who. I mean, knew of him, but they were like, "Yeah." I said, "I had 2 extra tickets. Let's go." Dude, it was the best concert, and this was, in 2003, so it was, 15 years ago, so we're 15 years younger. Like right now, I can understand they're a little older now. This is like when they were in their early 40s.
Paul Stanley, the lead singer.
Yeah,
of
he's
Kiss? He had the
low cut.
He sounded like an old Jewish lady on stage. Like, how's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah, that's it.
And then he had like a half top, like his belly was kind of sticking out.
Yeah, you got
he had like
50,
the same
you got
outfit
him
from
15
'83.
Yeah, you got him 15 years too late. And he has the hairy chest.
Look, I appreciate everything about Kiss from a marketing standpoint. They've made millions. They've got lunch boxes, figurines, cartoons. I mean, it's amazing what they've done on like 3 songs. They have parlayed. They parlayed 3 songs, pyro and some girl makeup into $1 billion company. Congratulations, tip of the cap to you guys.
Well, you're just not a fan. I grew up with Kiss. When I was 7 years old, I saw the Kiss, the Phantom. Kiss meets the Phantom.
Yeah,
and that was the first
big
time.
bat thing that
that's
Gene
the first
does.
time I ever saw them like actually moving. They were on TV. They were doing the worst TV show ever. And other than that, I had them on cards. I had them on albums, and I never saw them. But anyway, they had an effect on me, a big effect. So when I finally got to see them, I saw them without Ace Frehley and without Peter Criss. And no, Ace Frehley was the guitar player,
Peter
Starman.
Criss was the drummer.
And Peter Criss was the drummer. But I saw them in 1983 unmasked. Without those
it was terrible.
Two. It was
they
nothing.
did the MTV reveal back then
it was
where
awful.
they went unmasked. I remember. I think I
That's
watched
when they were wearing pink. They were wearing pink and
that
stuff.
was like a national deal. I think I remember riding my bike home from school because it was like
They're
going to reveal themselves without the makeup. No one had ever seen them before, and all of a sudden it was like a whole half-hour special, and then they stayed that way for about 2 years, I think.
No, it was longer than that.
It was longer than that.
Oh yeah, much longer
Well,
than
then
that.
when no one stopped going to their show.
Well, they put out about 10 albums with unmasked. I mean, they put out a bunch, and I hated every one of them. But when
Then
they
brought
finally
it back.
said, well, that's when they said we're going to do the
back.
reunion tour in like 1998. I finally got to see it in
No,
2000.
they didn't go 15 years unmasked.
Yes, they did, dude. They went a long. They put out like 10 albums unmasked.
Wow.
Yeah, Google it. Do some
Wow.
Googling. But yeah, they finally went back on tour, the reunion tour in 90. I didn't get to see the first one. I went to the second one. That was like 2003, 2004, somewhere around there. And I absolutely loved it. Had second row. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, big fan.
All right. Well, reach into your phone, text your friends, call out into the kitchen, tell them come back to the show. We're done talking Kiss. Let's talk some Pelicans. Honestly, 2 months ago when we sat here and DeMarcus Cousins was gone for the year and possibly ever in New Orleans because he's a free agent after this season. The Pelicans were sitting, I think, 5th place.
Mm-hmm.
They had been looking good, winning, and all of a sudden, bam! Cousins goes down. And did you really? I didn't.
No,
think
I thought they were done.
I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs.
I mean, I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs either. And look, if they hadn't won 5 straight down the stretch, they probably wouldn't have won. Probably wouldn't have been in the playoffs. They had to win every one of those games. Like they had to win every one of those games down the stretch. They beat the Golden State Warriors on the road. That was huge. That was a huge win down the stretch. And to beat the Spurs at home down the stretch, look, this is a team poised to win a first-round playoff matchup. They have a good chance. By the way, we're on TV, so you can't hide that. This is an opportunity for them to actually win a first-round playoff series.
They're used to it, by the way.
Huh?
They're used to it. Me yawning while you're talking.
That was beautiful. I mean, can you?
It's like the Lion and the Wizard of Oz. Like,
I think if you're gonna do it, you might as well just go all.
Absolutely.
You can't fake it.
Yeah, just go all out. Don't do that.
You were like this. Just go Lion King.
All right, let's get
so
back
anyway,
to it.
they play the Pelicans tonight. Obviously, game 1 in Portland. They went 2-2 versus this team during the regular season. They lost the first game, won the 2 in the middle, and then lost the last one. But this is a team that's been playing very well on the road throughout the season, and they struggled more at home. But this is a series that they can win. And it's an exciting series. You got some superstars with Damian Lillard. You got Anthony Davis. You've got a lot of star power in this series, and I think a lot of people are going to watch it, man. I know I'm going to watch it. I can't wait.
I'm so glad for Drew Holiday. After he went through with his wife and everything, and he's had some good moments. But man, he's been super consistent this year. And I don't know that anyone ever earns $16 million or whatever the heck he's being paid,
right.
But he's
getting
finally
paid a lot.
He's getting paid a lot, and he's finally living up to that. Averaging I think 19 and 6. In the chemistry right now between he and Anthony Davis is as good as anybody in the league. AD, since Cousins has gone out, leads the league in scoring over that time, over 30 points a game. I mean, he has been. We knew he was a top 10 player in the league. We felt like he probably was a top 5 player in the league. Right now, in my mind, he's a top 2 or 3 player.
I mean, he's so good and he's so consistent. And let's not forget Rajon Rondo has been a major factor on this basketball team since he came over. I mean, he has been a huge signing. I never thought that he would be such a big deal for this basketball team, but he's a big reason as to why they are in the playoffs, and you can't forget about him.
By the way, believe it or not, the last time the Pelicans won a playoff game,
I think it was like 2000. Oh, a game or a series?
A playoff game. 2010.
Wow.
They lost the series 4-2 to the Lakers that year, 4-2, but that was the last time they won a series. Last time they were in the playoffs, of course, in 15 when they got swept by the Warriors. That's how they ended up with Alvin Gentry. He was on that staff. And actually, even though the Pelicans got swept in that series, they played them well.
Right.
They actually had one game where they were up like 30 and lost. But Alvin Gentry, Dale Demps, save their job.
Well, if they go 0-4,
what they did over the last,
I don't know. I think if they go 0-4,
they're not going to get fired.
If they go 0-4, man. I mean, you don't know. We don't know what Mrs. B is going to do these days. Mrs. B is a new factor.
I think Mrs. B is look. They say by the way, she's got an advisory committee, a board around her. So she's not making decisions on her own. She's happy.
His name is Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis.
He's Joel Davis. When we come back, the show will improve tremendously. Buzzy Heidel will join us, the former 2009 baseball national champion at LSU. We'll talk some LSU. We'll show some highlights from Game 1 of the LSU-Tennessee series and a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere. Sports Shorts will roll on right after this.
Hi, this is Gordy Rush, and I trust my family to Ben Kaz Family Dentistry. Are your children like mine? They play sports? Let me ask you, does your child have a custom mouth guard to protect their teeth?
Everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of
you
life.
mentioned my name, they're going to give you free whitening strips. Go to Ben Kaz, BENCAZ, FamilyDentistry.com.
The Foundation is thrilled to announce the inaugural Court 5K. Join us Saturday, May 12th in downtown Baton Rouge for the Court 5K. There's a wine stop at each mile of our race course, so if you want to walk and taste the wine, that's fine by us. Every 5K participant will get entry into the Wine Down Party, where there will be live music, awards, plenty of drinks, and of course, wine. It's safe to say it's more about the wine than it is the running. Sign up today for the Court 5K, brought to you by Sullivan's Steakhouse at court5k.com.
Hey, this is Gordy Rush, and I recently had an automatic standby generator put in my house by Schust Electric. I couldn't believe how easy the process was. That's because Schust Electric is a one-stop shop. They
Attention
do
to
it all.
detail
I didn't have to
makes
call an
the world
electrician.
go round.
I didn't have to lay down
At
concrete.
Baker Printing,
I didn't have to call a
our
plumber,
approach to
and
the
I didn't
printing
have to
business
get
is
all
very
those
simple.
permits.
Treat it
Schust
as if
Electric
it were
is a
your own.
one-stop shop.
It's not
One
always
call,
an easy
they
job,
do it all,
but
and
it
they can
comes
take
from the
care
top
of you.
down
Look
in
them up
our
online. Schust
We
Electric.
thrive
It's of LA.com.
Hey, it's
We
Anna
take
from
care
Conan
of our
Uncensored.
customers'
You've heard both
projects
me
as if
and
they
T-Bob
were our
Abear
very
bragging about
Baker
UFC
Printing,
Gym, and the
attention
reason
to
is we are
detail
absolutely
makes
in
our
love with
world
it.
go round.
It's motivational, it's family friendly, it's
Introducing
fun.
the
They've got
Mercedes-Benz
unlimited bag
family of
classes,
vans,
7 days
including
a
the
week, and one.
full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
Relief Window. Experience Relief Window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, HardiePlank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Oh, those are the good old days, 1975. Joel Davis smoking something he's not supposed to behind the dumpster at the high school, skateboarding around, singing.
I wasn't
Beth.
skating yet. I wasn't skating. Yeah, although
No, you were roller skating back then.
well,
not
this is
skateboarding.
back in 1977. There were skateboards, but they were like this skinny.
When did Beth come out? What do we think?
Oh, that's like 73,
Here we're gonna go. Beth,
74?
Yes.
No, 75, 76. Because I was 7 when I found them. Why are you looking at my hair? Are you making fun?
No, because Ronnie was making fun of mine, and I think yours looks
1976.
Yeah.
I was 1 year off. 1976.
good. I think your hair looks good. I think
And by
mine
the
looks
way,
good,
Kiss Unmasked,
and I like that we have
1983 to
hair. And so-
1995. 12-year run Unmasked for Kiss.
Joel Davis,
The guy that
Buzzy
doesn't have hair
Heidel
making
here in studio. By the way, we did get comment. If anybody listened to us last segment, and if you're still back paying attention, watching the show, we really appreciate you, all three of you. By the way, we did get
So much
confirmation that Kiss Unmasked, this was the period of time that the band Kiss did not have makeup on.
It was a long
Was
time.
83 to 95.
12-year run.
I didn't realize it
Yeah.
was 12
It was a long
years.
time.
Those are the 12 years that they sold 3 albums
Hey,
total. during
Lloyd,
that.
see how many albums they put out during that period. I'm telling you, it's like 10. They
Yeah.
put out a lot of music in those years.
By the
that
way,
nobody listened to.
By the way, we'll talk some LSU baseball this segment. I'm over in Lafayette a lot these days doing some UL baseball and stuff with CST and Jumbo Sports Network. I was walking through the parking lot headed into the stadium the other day, and a guy came up to me and said, "Hey, enjoy the show." Talking about Sports Shorts TV. He watches over in Lafayette. He goes, "Hey, enjoy the show. I'm one of the 8 people that watch." Because we always say that on the show that there's only 8 people out there watching. He says, "I'm one of the 8 people that watch." So
I was working out at Planet Fitness the other day, and I was working out, and some guy on a treadmill, an older guy, I was walking by, had my headset on, and people usually when you have a headset on, they don't talk to you.
Right,
that means
right.
leave me alone.
Right.
So he was like, he kept doing this to me, and I was like,
What is that?
Well, we're on
The
TV.
head nod,
the
the
head
head
nod,
nod,
the
the
head
little
jerk,
head
like
nod.
come here, like thing. Tilting your head back,
like he knows you.
like eyeballing you with the head jerk,
Like giving you the "Hey, what's up?" The
right,
what's up,
right.
the what's
and
up
I,
head nod.
and I saw him do it like 3 or 4 times, and then finally he kept doing it to me, and I finally took my headset. I said, "What's up?" And he says, "Are you that dude on Sports Shorts?"
So it's amazing. There's always a stoner, like a stoner, like skateboard guy working out by you. Every or Cheech and Chong having to be there.
guy?
It's amazing. Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well," I said, "You watch that?"
You-
I had to
you
ask
watch
him.
that crap?
I know. I had to ask him, and he said, "Yeah, man, I love it." So I was like, "All right, well, appreciate you watching."
All right, so we're gonna increase the IQ of this show. We'll talk some LSU baseball right now with Buzzy Heidel. Buzz, of course, was a part of the 2009 national championship team, and braved the storms and everything. As we do this show, for those listening on radio, we're 8 to 10 a.m. this Saturday morning. We'll be back to 10 to noon next Saturday. But for TV purposes, Saturday morning in Baton Rouge wasn't a good one. A lot of rain, a lot of storms. Buzz coming over from the west side. We appreciate you swimming across the Mississippi River Bridge, and it actually looks like you swam across the bridge.
I didn't know if I needed to take the P-row. I got up, didn't take my normal morning shower. Sorry about that, Joel. I know we're closed right now. So a lot of things going on. Was able to get dressed, put the boots on, put the mud boots on.
I saw that.
Got
Tweeted
here
it
in
out.
time, and so I was cussing Ronnie the whole time. I'm like, Jesus. What am
Why
I
did I
doing?
commit- why did I commit to do
why did
this?
I commit to do this?
How much is he paying me?
It's 7:30. I'm waking up. It's storming. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
That's such a great time to sleep too. When it's
when
dark
rains.
and pouring down rain.
The house is
ruined
like
it.
totally dead. Like nothing's moving. Finally, my kids are like out. You know what I mean?
They don't want to do anything.
They're sleeping until like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
and
which
of
is a
course-
record.
Yeah, I'm here. So
Yeah,
good
you
to
are.
be here.
All right, let's talk some
So
LSU
excited.
baseball. In the background, some highlights are playing from Game 1 of the series. LSU, I mean, who saw this coming? The Tigers score 8 runs in the first 3 innings. They hit 4 home runs in the first 3 innings. They hit 3 leadoff home runs, which even going back to the Gorilla Ball days, and we'd have to reach out to Bill Franquez and really David Steinley, Rain Man, who's over in Kansas, because I don't know that Bill even knows this. Has LSU ever led off 3 innings in a row, Buzz, with a leadoff homer? I think not. I don't think that's ever happened.
3 innings in a
Even
row.
in 1997, when they hit 188 home runs, 3 innings in a row,
I
the
would say that's
leadoff batter
probably
hit a home run.
never happened.
Maybe 2 innings in a row, but I don't think 3.
I think it's more likely to have back-to-back home runs.
That's happened before.
Yeah, than
Oh,
it
yeah,
is
that
to
happened,
have
yeah.
3 straight innings with leadoff home runs. That's like lottery.
Back to back 98, UC Irvine in the Super
Yeah,
Regional.
that's like lottery.
that
pick.
happened.
2008, not 98.
I mean, 2008.
And then there was a last home run hit in that game as well. That was mine.
Have you ever? Now, Buzzy, you've played a lot of ball, and so have you, Ronnie. But even in high school,
a lot of ball.
in high school, even in high school.
bit.
Let me ask you
I
this:
played more than most.
You obviously had the last home run ever in Alex Box Stadium, so you have the power.
Old Alex Box.
You have the power to get the ball out of the yard. Have you ever been part of a series of home runs like that, back to back to back, or are you ever the first guy that hit a home run and a couple guys went after you in your entire career? Have you ever been part of something so unique? I know Ronnie has it. That's why I'm asking you.
No, of course not. No.
I mean, of course not. It's possible.
No, I said of course not. He's never been a part of that.
Oh,
He's
right,
a
right, right,
pitcher,
right. Yeah,
you know,
he's
tight end type guy.
Finesse. He's
Hey,
a finesse
Austin
player.
Bain proved pitchers are guys.
Well, he got 4
Or
hits
athletes.
last night.
Wow, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Maybe put my foot in my mouth a little bit. Yes, I feel like I have. You know, I've had some. I feel like yes. I mean, I can't specifically go back.
Right,
but I mean,
right.
look, Ronnie knows this.
I would remember that.
But
I'm
Ronnie
sorry.
knows this. There's a lot of like high school summer ball where you're playing just a million games
Mm-hmm.
in the summer, and like you're playing some teams like Ronnie used to coach where we would just tee off on.
Yeah,
them. You know what I mean? And the Baton Rouge White Sox and all these teams.
Wait, you were an assistant coach for the White Sox and helped win a championship. You mean like when we would destroy people?
No, like when I played, you know.
For Goche Amade?
Yeah, Goche Amade. Y'all weren't as good when I helped coach.
By the way, I don't know that. By the way, speaking of Goche Amade, a Legion team from Ascension Parish.
But they still play in some tournaments.
Shortstop that's in the big leagues now.
Reed Brignac.
I don't think he's ever gotten a hit against the White Sox. By the way, we circled Reed Brignac on the chart. Went after him pretty good. I'm telling you. I think we pitched Reed Brignac. He might even be able to tell you today. I think we pitched him harder than he gets pitched in the big league. The Baton Rouge White Sox.
I love how this show just goes everywhere. With
Anyway.
But to answer your question, I feel like yes, I have been a part of something like that. I can't really hone down on exactly which one. But yeah, Ronnie was right back in 2008 at the old Alex Box. That last game, it was Dean Clark Gibbs or Dean Gibbs Clark all went back to back to back in one inning. Now that's not what we were talking about.
Right.
Lead off an inning. I'm gonna go, and I know we'll never figure this out unless we text Bill Franquez or something.
He won't.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say it happened before. With all those years in the late '90s,
3 innings in a row.
I'm
gonna say it's
lead
never
off
happened.
batter. I don't
I'm gonna
think
say
it's
it's
ever
never
happened.
happened.
I'm gonna go.
It's
I'm
very
not gonna
unique.
bet this, obviously, but I'll say just to play the other side, I think it may have happened. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna, as we're doing this show, I'm gonna text Bill and ask him if it ever has. By the way, I know this. Regardless, no one in the history of LSU baseball, no one's had let off 3 innings in a row and then in the third had a back-to-back home run, which is what happened. Jake Slaughter had 2 of the 4 homers that were hit in the first 2 innings of the game. And they both were 400-plus shots to dead center.
Yeah.
Impressive. Where'd this guy come from, Buzz?
Well, he came from Ruston, is where he's from. But look, this is what you can get from.
He's
Slaughter.
actually Monroe.
Is it Monroe?
Yeah, he went to. Well, his dad played at Louisiana Tech, but he actually went to West Monroe High. I think West Monroe like his 8th grade year, 9th grade year. Then he transferred to Ouachita Christian.
That's right.
You said it so confidently too.
If you would just let it go,
I know.
nobody
would know.
I mean,
Nobody.
it's just
He had to call
We
you out.
want to be, accurate here in
we're
sports.
so
Shorts 'cause
accurate
we do such
on
a
everything.
good job of that.
Sources tell me, Joe Ronnie, this is why Paul Mainieri, I think, gets so frustrated with Slaughter, and not frustrated, but just he keeps putting him in there and keeps giving him chances because he does stuff that other players can't
What he's capable of,
do on the team. Now, the problem is he doesn't do it consistently, and he doesn't do it. He's, at times he gets down on himself, and you can see you can see how his physical appearance and his frustration, and that's not always good. It's not always good to wear your emotions on your sleeve in that way. And so Coach gets frustrated with him, but you saw last night why he keeps inserting him in there because he does things that other people can't do, and if he can just get that confidence and get it rolling, it's that snowball effect. And he's a guy that can really take over games, as you saw last night, and would be a big part, especially with Josh Smith gone, although he's right. It sounds like he's right around the corner from coming back. But, Chris Reed's done a nice job. Austin Bain's phenomenal about what they've done and putting him in. So they've been able to piece it together with not all their key guys. But Slaughter, if he can be a guy that really he can show that type of power on a team that doesn't have a ton of power, that's why you keep seeing him put in there. And so it's fun to watch. But look, Tennessee's not a great team. They're not as bad as they have been over the past few years. But this is a weekend, Ronnie, and I think you'll agree with me, especially after taking that first one so handily. I know Coach Mainieri doesn't like to talk about sweeps, but when you have the chance, and they don't have the chance to sweep, they've got to win this game, obviously, today. But when you have a chance, and Tennessee is that team where you can look at it and say, that's a possible sweep weekend. We're at home. They're not as good a team as they've been. You've got to take those because you're going to go on the road to tough environments. You're going to go to South Carolina. You're going to play Ole Miss. You're going to play Auburn, who's been good. You're going to play the tough teams that you know is going to be tough. You got to get the wins when you can against the easy ones.
This past Tuesday, LSU got a big out-of-conference victory against Louisiana Tech. And in most years, or years where you win the conference like they did last year, Joe, midweek games don't matter that much. But Louisiana Tech's the second best team in the state of Louisiana. They're ranked in the top 40 and everything, and
that's a big win.
9-3 Conference USA. They're going to be a regional team and barring a collapse. So this is a win that helps you get into the regionals. Maybe, in the sense that this just helps your RPI, helps everything. If it comes down to, do they get in? Are they the 16th team to host a regional? I mean, it doesn't matter if it's any other time. Like last year, LSU lost, I think, 8 midweek games or something like that. Right? It didn't matter. They won the league. But if you're not going to win the league and you're going to end up at 15, 16 wins, maybe it makes a difference in where you're slotted.
Well, I'm sorry, Joel.
I want to know, what were the expectations coming in this season for you two guys for LSU? Because a lot of people did not have, huge expectations for this baseball team.
Right. Let's hold that thought. Yeah. We'll take a break. We come back. We'll show some more highlights. We'll continue to talk some LSU baseball. Sports Shorts from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, presented by LeBears Casino here in Baton Rouge. Check them out. Download the LeBears Baton Rouge app on your smartphone, and you can make hotel reservations, see all the concerts that are going on. They got a lot of free music each and every week at Edge Lounge. Check it out. Sports Shorts will be back right after this.
Hey, it's Michelle Southern, and sometimes I like to think of myself as a superwoman. That's why I didn't hesitate when asked to be part of the Ascension Small Business Power Week. Join me Saturday, May 5th at the Superwoman's Expo at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center, where I'll be the Superwoman of Ceremonies. This expo focuses on women in business and features speakers and demonstrations, plus a fashion show. The Superwoman's Expo on May 5th at Lamar Dixon is where you can develop mental, physical, and spiritual health. Visit Small Biz Power Week on Facebook for details.
Hi, this is Gordy Rush from my friend Ryan McGuire and the great staff at Golf Tech. If you're really serious about golf, then you need to go to Golf Tech. Golf Tech has the highest quality coaching. In fact, Golf Tech has proprietary motion measurement and the ability for you to see your swing. You'll get more work done in 30 minutes at Golf Tech than you will in 30 days alone on the range. Golf Tech, 2561 City Place, next to Jason's Deli.
When you need new tires, all you can think about is this process is going to take forever. But not at Speedy Tire. They've got over 100 brands of tires for all types of vehicles, and ordering your tires is easy, speedy, and pricing competitive. Based out of New Orleans and shipped throughout the nation. Visit SpeedyTire.com. That's SpeedyTire.com.
Please join me at the 2018 Go Teal Ovarian Cancer Awareness
At Peak
Walk.
Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Is courage.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
By generator put in my house by Schuster Electric.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter
is a
and the
one-stop
mid-size
shop.
Metris.
They do it all.
If
I didn't have to
these
call an
are your
electrician.
wingtips,
I didn't have to lay down concrete. I didn't have
if
to call a
this
plumber.
is
and
your
I didn't
gourmet
have
latte,
to get all those permits.
then these
Schuster
are your
Electric is a
vans.
one-stop shop.
Vans for
One call,
professionals.
they do it all, and they can
Strictly
take care of you.
professionals.
Look them up online.
Best commercial
Schuster
van
Electric,
residual value according to ALG
CES
and starting at just
of LA.com.
$25,995. Mercedes-Benz vans born.
Go Teal Ovarian
Attention to
Cancer
detail
Awareness Walk.
makes
This
the
year's walk will
world
be held
go
on
round.
Saturday, April
At Baker
21st at
Printing,
LSU
our
Softball's
approach
Tiger
to the
Park.
printing business is
Registration
very
open
simple.
online
Treat
at
it as if it were your own.
www.goteal.com.
It's not always
Go
an easy
Tigers
job,
and Go
but
Teal.
it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique job. Bottom line, we take care of our
Sports Shorts
customers'
Radio
projects
with
as if
Ronnie
they
Rance,
were
Joel
our very
Davis,
own.
and Buzzy
At Baker
Heidel
Printing,
on
attention to
104.5,
detail
104.9
makes the
ESPN
world
Baton
go round.
Rouge.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the
All right, welcome back, everybody. Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, Buzzy Heidel. The gang's all here in the Sports Shorts studio. Sports Shorts every Saturday morning on ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge and, of course, on Pelican Broadcasting Saturday, Sunday, Monday night. Check us out in your area and your local listings.
It feels good, Ronnie. It feels good to have everyone back.
Yeah. Keep
the three amigos. I just
By the
want
way,
to go.
you might want to wash your hands. He just got back from a foreign land. Been gone in Indonesia for 2 years.
Everything like
Lambong Dang.
Where's
Great place.
Where's
By the way, Salamat Pagi to both of you. Salamat Pagi.
I mean, should we do this? When we,
No, I mean it's,
should we
it's
like
not. It's
bow
not
or
that
something?
was just a good morning.
Good
Just a
morning.
good
That's
morning.
what. That's good
Salamat
morning.
Pagi.
That's how they say it in Bali.
Salamat Pagi.
Salamat pagi.
Salamat Pagi.
Salama.
Salamat
Salamat
Pagi.
pagi.
You want to say thank you?
Salamat pagi.
Terima kasih.
Tiramisu.
It's very close. That's how I remembered it, actually. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
You know what the problem with
Who
talking
needs
foreign-
Rosetta Stone?
Well,
we
I
got
could
sports
teach you.
shorts.
When you talk
Teach it all.
foreign language, you have to really get into that language. You can't just try to say it all,
No,
Southern.
I'm telling you,
know,
if I
just-
live,
you can't say it Bruley style. You gotta
let me
get
just tell you
into it.
something. I'm going to be living in Indonesia
Lord.
probably in the next 4 years. In about 4 years, probably 4 months out of the year. About 4 months out of the year. I
This
mean,
is
so
disappointing.
my Indonesia, my Bahasa Indonesia is going to get so good over the coming years. Bahasa Indonesia is your, Indonesian language.
Gotcha.
You got to ask me about Lambondang.
Okay, what about Lambeau Field? What happened over there?
Lambondang. So when you go, Indonesia is a bunch of islands, thousands and thousands of islands. Okay, so off the coast of Bali, which is an island, Denpasar, which is Bali, there's an island called Lambongang. Okay, and the only way to get to it is by boat.
If anyone happens to be driving around and listening to this show, first off, 2 hands on the wheel, and I hope you got the windshield wipers on, and God bless you, and thank you for the 5 of you for listening. But
Nobody's
if
listening
you
to this show.
can't
There's tornado
s-
warnings
you
outside.
gotta see-
So let's just have fun with it for the
you
TV
gotta-
show.
For the TV, I mean, the faces are great here.
What did I do?
Joel's making. I mean,
What did I
or whatever you use. I mean, it's
No, it's Lambondang.
so over the top. everything.
Lambondang.
Yeah, and then
So,
the crease
but that's
in
how
your
they
forehead.
talk.
It's
Why are
great.
you making fun of the crack, dude?
The crack in your forehead.
Let me tell you something, Buzz. Would you rather the crack or the bald?
I'd go crack.
I'd go crack all day.
Because the crack gets you that role as like the bad guy in some B movie.
Dude, I just walk around like this all the time.
Yeah,
And then it
yeah,
just
like-
the crack
like it's
is
very serious.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
serious.
yeah.
But no, Lambondang, the only way to get to it is by boat.
Uh-huh.
And so we visited Lambondang, and we took the boat across the ocean, to the other island. And when dude, you want to talk? It was unbelievable. When you get there, you rent a motorbike. The only way to get around is to get a motorbike. So we rented a motorbike, and I mean, we literally, you're there all day. You get there at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the boat doesn't pick you back up till 4:30 in the afternoon. So you got to find things to do.
Sure.
So it's just exploring. So I rode around on a motorbike all day. Let me tell you something, dude. I don't know about you guys. Have you ever been on a motorbike all day?
No, never.
Bruh, I broke my ass. It's broken.
Is it?
It's broken. It's
Your
not,
ace?
It's not the same as it was before Lambondang. So I have a
Was it
broken
like a
ace.
scooter? It was
Yeah,
a
it's a
scooter, like a little
Yeah,
scooter.
I mean, now they have island bikes you can rent. They're freaking cool. Just Google island bike. Those are cool.
I'm just gonna trust you.
But I'm not getting
gonna
anything
Google
with a clutch. Nothing with a clutch. I'm going straight automatic.
Yeah.
That way I can, there's a
Well,
lot of
hand
traffic.
controls.
I just want to be able to press the gas and go. So Lambondang all day. They have some places that the cliffs and just the they have a place called the Blue Lagoon. Brother, it's the Blue Lagoon.
Yeah,
Let me tell you something.
awesome.
It's
Is that
the
where the
Blue
movie
Lagoon.
was filmed?
Perhaps.
With
but there's no
not
way to
Brooke-
reach.
Brooke Shields?
There's no
was that a
way
young
to.
Brooke
Yes,
Shields?
the
Blue
young,
Lagoon?
beautiful.
Yeah, back in the day?
By the way, the first time
Early
I
80s,
realized
1981, something like that?
that was when I realized I really like girls.
Yeah, it was like I thought it
Really
might
like
be the
them.
first movie you saw boobs.
It
probably.
was. It was
yeah,
totally
Blue Lagoon.
like that was X-rated
Well, that-
for me.
Well, yeah, there was. No, it was controversial. Not controversial. Well, it was controversial because she was so young. She was like 18
porn.
or something.
That was porn, dude.
And it was It was Blue Lagoon. That was a great movie.
Great
Had the
movie.
little blonde-headed dude.
They were in a tree
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Is that right?
No treehouse.
They were in a tree house?
I don't think it was a tree
Well,
house.
no, they built like a
lived in it?
hut. Yeah,
They
they
lived
built
in
like,
it? Like up in a tree?
they built a tree house.
Buzz, you saw Blue Lagoon?
Bro.
I know it's like
come
way
here.
Like, I
before
mean,
his
like,
time.
seriously, like, that's big if you saw Blue
Yeah,
Lagoon.
Christopher.
Because, I mean,
What's
that-
his name? Christopher something.
The guy?
Yeah, Christopher something.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's,
let's
you talking
go.
about the little blonde-headed guy that
Yeah, he
played
was
the love
quite-
interest of Brooke
yeah,
Shields and Blue
quite
Lagoon?
famous, both of those two kids, and they're great movie. But yeah, it was like that.
I
It
don't know
was
about great movie.
paradise.
It was-
Lambondang is paradise, and I will be visiting Lambondang every time I go back to Indonesia. And if you ever go to Indonesia in Bali, you got to take the boat trip Tell him on that.
Brooke Shields and Christopher Atkins. Yeah, I remember
Dude,
Christopher
that's
Atkins.
good with
You
the
like that? I
Christopher.
knew it.
You pulled the Christopher.
Yeah, I always wanted his hair.
That's very
I
good.
wanted his hair.
1980, so good call.
Yeah,
1981.
yeah.
Straight porn.
I'll say this: I don't remember every little scene, but I absolutely remember them.
No, in
diving in the
1980,
water a lot.
1981, I was 9 years old. 8 and 88, 9, and I can remember in New Orleans where I grew up at that time. Cable. What cable was, Cox Cable wasn't quite there yet, or at least in my neighborhood. So we had Star TV. I don't know. Okay, Star TV was cable, all right?
Yeah.
And all it was back then in New Orleans East in 1980, 81 was a little box, a little silver box that, I mean, like we're talking maybe a 3-inch box, like almost twice the size of a box of matches, let's say. And you attached it to the back of your TV, and then you had wires.
This is definitely New Orleans.
You had wires that were in this box, and it went into the wall, and it was a cable box. And you flipped the switch, and it was one channel. It was a movie channel, and it had movies, and in between the movies, it had music videos.
Where was HBO? I had HBO. What is this thing?
And at night, at around 11 o'clock at night, it had that movie, the Triple X, Coach, back in the day.
That was way Triple X.
And as a 9-year-old, I remember sneaking in and watching Blue Lagoon and things.
That's where
were
it all
happening.
started for Ron.
Joel Davis, Buzzy Heidel, Ronnie Rand, Sports Shorts. We'll be back hour number 2 right after this.
Selfless service is the guiding principle that drives Army National Guard soldiers to be
At
always
Peak Performance
ready
Physical
whenever
Therapy,
disaster
we
strikes.
treat the
They are your
athlete
next-door
and
neighbor
everyone,
and your
from the
colleagues in
three-point
schools,
shooter to
offices,
the
and
three-piece
factories
suit.
to be a
If your
Guard
doctor
soldier, to
prescribes
stand
physical
ready to
therapy,
serve
ask
at
for
all
Peak
times,
Performance
for
by
family,
name,
for
getting you
community,
back in
and
the
for
game
country.
of
To
life.
learn more, log
If
on
you're
to
an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame in Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase
Demco
tickets
is
to the
committed
annual
to the
Louisiana
philosophy
Sports Hall
that
of Fame
knowledge
events,
is
visit
power. That belief is something we like to call
lasportshall.com/purchase.
Demcoology. Today's lesson, higher education. As part of our investment into the communities we serve, Demco awards academic scholarships annually to qualified Demco members or their children who attend a public Louisiana college or university. These scholarships are worth $1,250 per semester for both fall and spring semesters of the academic year. Log on to demco.org for rules and eligibility and apply today. Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
It's that time of year again. Clearwater's above ground pool and spa tax-free sale event. Buy any pool, spa, or hot tub and we'll pay your sales tax for a limited time only. 12 months, same as cash now, only at Clearwater Pool, I-12 at Sherwood.
For all your vehicle needs, one place, Hunt's Tire Pros and Car Care. Les Hunt, he's the man in charge, and his people are totally professional. They don't intimidate you. They're going to save you money. They're going to get your vehicle in and out as soon as they can, and the bottom line is they're going to be straight up with you. If you need it done, they're going to tell you. If you don't need it done, they're going to be honest with you. All major tires, brakes, belts, and hoses, AC repairs, tune-ups, filters, batteries, tire repair, balancing, all changes, inspection, stickers, they do it all. Hunt's Tire Pros and Car Care, right there on Greenwood Springs Road since 1988.
Bottom line.
Hey, it's Anna from Condon Uncensored. You've heard both me and T-Bob A there bragging about UFC Gym, and the reason is we are absolutely in love with it. It's motivational, it's family friendly, it's fun. They've got unlimited back classes 7 days a week, and one membership gets you all of that and access to both locations, Sherwood and Corky, Perkins and Acadian. So no matter where you live, no matter where you work, one of those is going to be convenient. Call now, try a class for free, tour the gym, 291-5269 for UFC Gym.
Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans.
Relief window. Experience Relief window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to be your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company
All
here
right,
in
welcome
Baton
back,
Rouge.
everybody.
Baton
Hour number
Rouge.
2, Sports Shorts. Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, Buzzy Heidel here in the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio presented by LeBears. Casino.
That's a nice shot. I like that shot. That's a good shot right there. Is that gonna? That's a good opening right there. Is that a new shot? Is that something y'all been working on?
Multi-camera stuff here. Yeah. I mean, Tony's switching it up here. Got all kind of stuff.
That's good stuff.
Before we went to break, we were talking about what?
Blue Lagoon.
Thank you.
Late night.
How much money you spent on pornography for 16 years between 1990 or 1983 and 95? What was it?
It was 90 to 2005-06.
I don't know what you're referring to. What was it we were talking to before we went?
Blue Lagoon.
No. We teased something going to break.
Golf.
It was Blue Lagoon, Ronnie, and your late night.
What are you talking about before the Blue Lagoon?
We went to
you were talking about Hang Bang Dang.
No, we were talking about
LSU
baseball, and you were you asked a question, and then I said, "Don't answer."
I said.
See, there we go.
I said, what were your expectations of LSU baseball coming into?
He's bringing up things. I don't know where he's making that up. You've got movie references, all that. I mean, if you would have just paid attention in our show prep meeting, we wouldn't have these problems.
We get here 30 minutes before the show every single week, and we have our pre-show
with our producer,
meeting.
Lloyd the intern.
Yeah, and we go over all the subject matter, and we make sure everybody's on the same page, and that way we have a good show.
Yeah.
But when you show up late, Buzz, unshowered, coming across the bridge in your upgraded shrimp boots, this is the kind of show you have. I mean, it's all twisted.
All right, Buzz, so talk about the expectations going into the season. What did you realistically have?
Yeah, look, we know what they lost last year, and we said it, and I'm torn right now because I think at the end of when the season ends for the last 7 years, LSU's or 6 years, LSU's been a top 8 national seed. And in those years, there was times where we said, oh, this team may struggle a little bit. They may struggle to get to 500 in the league, yada, yada, yada. I think a lot of us, and Ronnie, if I remember correctly, 500 was your call in the league, 15-15. That changed a little bit once we saw.
Actually, 14-16.
Okay, was it 14-16? And then I changed it a little bit. I said maybe 16-14, 17-13. But I'm going to go. So the expectations before the season, to answer your question, Joel, was I think they were a regional team, not necessarily a top 8 national seed, but I thought they were going to finish, 4th, 5th, 6th-ish in the league. Maybe 7th, getting a regional, 16-14. And as of now, I'm going to say 16-14 is what they're going to go in SEC.
You're sticking with that because you've been flip-flopping like crazy, but you're going to go 16-14. Final answer.
I went 500, 15-15, and then I changed a 1 game or really a 2 game swing to 16-14.
Well, when LSU played Southeastern, which was like the second week of the season, and a game we did over there,
and they lost.
I told Matt Moscona, I think I talked to him the day of the game before I went on his show. I mean, I was at the ballpark and he called me on his show like pregame, and my prediction then was 32-24 overall, 14-16 in the SEC. Okay, 14-16 in the SEC, 32-24. I did think they got into a regional, but they did not host with that record. Now, looking around at the landscape of LSU baseball and their schedule and everything like that, I think there's a better chance for them to probably be closer to what you think, Buzz, because LSU's gotten fortunate. They don't play Kentucky on the East, who's playing better and had 2 big returning starters on the mound, and they're swinging the bat. Florida's preseason number 1, and they're playing like it. So, and Georgia, who's the surprise in the league, they don't play any 3. They don't play those teams,
right?
So the schedule favors LSU, but 14-16 is what I predicted. I'm going to stay with it, but I think probably they're grading on the side of more like 16-14.
Yeah, and they're 22-13 overall right now. So are you still saying 10 more wins for this team? 10 more wins. That 10 more wins gets them to 17 wins. I know there's 10 more wins gets them to 32, basically.
Yeah.
There's going to be some.
This is why I think this LSU baseball team's still going to have troubles. LSU right now is very happy with Hess and Hilliard.
Mm-hmm.
Hess, the returning, a pitcher from a year ago, closer. He's done a much better job as a starter than I thought he would. He looks like a legitimate dude now. Hilliard's been a surprise of the team, arguably the freshman of the year in the SEC.
How much better can he get? I mean, he is.
And his velocity isn't that great. So as his velocity gets better and he drives the ball down in the zone with the fastball a little more, because I think he's a little up sometimes still, consistent. His breaking ball's outstanding. His poise is outstanding. They've really got something there. They got something with Labus, the outstanding freshman from from Florida. But here's the thing. Gilbert's out of the rotation right now. He's going into the bullpen. That was a guy that was a preseason ace for LSU. He's no longer in the rotation. They're going Joe Staff right now on Sunday, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And, oh, by the way, you don't have your shortstop and second baseman. They're out till who knows when. And you don't have Bryce Jordan, who at least is moving around better, taking some BP this week. Maybe he'll be back next week. But you've got 3 starters not in your lineup due to injury, and you've got one of your starting pitchers, Caleb Gilbert, out of the rotation. That doesn't lend itself to going on a big long run and being a super regional host or something like that. It lends itself to having troubles and winning one game one day and losing the next.
Yeah, does Caleb Gilbert? I heard all the comments. I'm asking you, who is the Sunday guy, and does Gilbert not work his way back in there at some? I mean, I know it's halfway through the season.
Possibly, depending on how he does out of that bullpen, and more realistically, I think it's going to be Labus's job to lose, right? Yeah. I think that Labus, what he's done midweek, although this past week he beats Louisiana Tech, but he doesn't strike out anybody in 6 innings, and that tells you something. That tells you that his stuff is a little bit soft. Louisiana Tech's not a very good hitting team, and in the SEC, going 6 innings and not striking out anybody, more times than not, that means there's a problem. And so, but I think Labus is going to get first up. They'll have a short hook. They'll have a million guys ready to go behind him. And I do expect Labus to have some problems.
Yeah.
And so if Caleb Gilbert can hold the rope and keep a good attitude and pitch well in relief, he may get another crack at it down the stretch because of what he's done in the past.
It'll be interesting to see. I was a big Labus and still am a big Labus fan. I think I love the way he works. He works quick. He throws every pitch for a strike. And Gilbert threw a lot of strikes as well. But
Labus's off speed he can throw a changeup, a breaking ball, slider for a strike where Gilbert can't.
And I like the move. I really do, as getting Labus in the rotation and
well, allegedly we don't know yet. They just put it as TBD is all they've listed.
I would love that to be
Sunday
the move. I would love that to be the move, and because I just think he's a guy that pitches a lot like Hilliard, and we've seen how much success Hilliards have.
This is kind of a cool thing, Joel. So. LSU on the LSU front, the New Orleans Baby Cakes, the former Zephyrs. It's not Zephyr Field, it's the Shrine on Airline, it's the Baby Cakes. The mascot was controversial, but yet they sold a lot of swag, so they're having the last laugh. The Baby Cakes are retiring Wally Pontiff's number 31 number. Because that stadium, of course, hosts the Wally Pontiff Jr. Classic every year. They have a good relationship with the foundation. So this summer on a Friday, on the fireworks night and all that, on a Friday night, I think July sometime, July 27th, they're going to retire Wally Pontiff's jersey. Thoughts on that?
I think it's incredible. I mean,
Wally number, rather.
Wally Pontiff, obviously a young man that has the name has carries so much weight. It has raised a lot of money with the foundation and the events that they have with the baseball game with LSU. And I think look, this is a family in New Orleans. They're very well known. They brought a lot to the table, and I think it's an honor for them. I mean, it's a huge honor for the family, not only for Wally, who's passed on, but for the family itself to have their son remembered forever in that regard, I think is a tremendous honor.
You know what I thought was so cool, Ronnie, and maybe a little bit older than me have seen more than I've seen. Has there ever been a time where somebody who's not played for a team, organization, has had
got his number,
to have their number retired? And I realize it's more of where he's from. He's from that area. They play the game there. I know why they did. I just think that's so cool that he had really nothing to do with the organization from a playing standpoint, or I don't know, has that ever happened? Can you think of anything where?
Well, the only similar Jackie Robinson's number was retired across the league in every stadium. That's kind of a neat deal.
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, and Major League Baseball, a few years back they retired his number across the league. So, and that obviously didn't play for everybody, he only played for the Dodgers.
Right.
But that's kind of a neat deal. But yeah, you're right, Buzz. I mean that's kind of something special. And I want to say, if I remember correctly, the last night of his life, didn't he go to a Zephyrs game?
Yeah, I
think he went to a Zephyrs game and then went to Harrah's with his dad, Wally Sr. They played a little blackjack and he went home and then never woke up. And I'm pretty sure it was July. I mean, it wouldn't have been a basketball game. It would have been a football game.
Right.
So I think it was a Zephyrs game.
So I think something you got to think about too. Wally Pontiff Jr.'s jersey number, I guess was retired at the old Alex box. It's not up in the new Alex box yet, or I don't know when that's coming. But maybe this. I mean, it's in the Shrine on Airline where he never played.
Well,
and I know he never played at the new Alex box, but he was part of the LSU program and tradition. He played for that team and he didn't play for the baby.
Yeah, the number, his number, as well as number 15, which did not stand for Skip, stood for Robbie Smith.
That's right.
Was on the wall at the old Alec box, but never officially retired, never officially put through the rules and regs of the system. It was just a painted number on the wall. And for those that don't, Skip Bertman wore 15, so a lot of people thought the 15 represented Skip Bertman. It did not. Robbie Smith pitched at LSU in the mid-'80s, was a part of the Hold the Rope story from 1985 when they won their first SEC West Division championship. And Robbie Smith's from South Florida. He was later killed, 20 years ago. He was a state trooper, I believe, and he was helping someone on the side of the interstate who had a broken down vehicle, and he got hit by a car and killed. And actually that stretch of interstate in Miami, there's a couple miles, that's Robbie Smith Highway. So, and you've actually been down at Buzz, you just didn't know when we were over there. But anyway, Robbie Smith was a good guy. I actually got a chance to meet him a few times when I played at LSU. And, of course, great guy. Skip really had a lot of respect for him. And so that's why his 15 was on the wall at the old Alec box. It's not on the wall at the new one because Skip's not there and, and all that. As far as Wally is concerned, I don't know. He's in the Wally Pontiff Jr. Foundation gave money to LSU, $500,000. The museum is named in his honor. And there's the new remodeling going on for the batting cages and the weight room and all that. They're going to expand down the right field line. And there's going to be these big murals, if you will, for lack of a term, big pictures on the wall that former players and big leaguers can sponsor. And kind of like if you want an action figure of Alex Bregman with the Astros or something, you give a donation and it goes up there. I'm hoping they put a Wally up there.
Yeah.
That would make sense, for Wally to be up in that indoor batting cage. All right, Buzzy Heidel, Joel Davis, Ronnie Rance. We're here in the LaBerge, brought to you by LaBerge Baton Rouge Sports Shorts each and every Saturday morning right here on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN. And then also you can check us out on Pelican Broadcasting on television. That's Cox Cable Channel 1013 in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, and also Cox Cable down in New Orleans on Channel 116. Check out your local listings. We're on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night. We're going to tease this, and then when we come back, we'll get into it. The New Orleans Saints, I know you've been over in Indonesia. There's been some activity going on.
I keep up with that.
In the world of the NFL and the world of the New Orleans Saints. Yeah. The town of Lutcher is excited. We'll tell you when we come back. And the New Orleans Saints, are you excited about the signing of Cameron Meredith? We'll get I'll get our thoughts from Joel Davis about some NFL news. We'll be back with more Sports Shorts right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rentz, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Sports Shorts here in the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, presented by L'Auberge Casino in Baton Rouge. Next segment, we'll talk about my golf pilgrimage that I'm going to be going on in a few weeks and what I'm doing to prepare for that. Buzzy Heidel will appreciate it, being that he was the best golfer that I have played with and know personally, although due to an injury and the growth of some other people's games, that's in question. But right now, let's talk.
Whose game?
Doug's been playing a lot. We'll talk about some LSU football. We'll talk about some Saints football with Joel Davis right here. While you were over in Indonesia. As you say, for the last couple of weeks with Woodenhaven Furniture Company business, Cameron Meredith signed a 2-year, $9.6 million deal to play wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints. Missed all of last year due to an ACL and MCL injury. Are you excited about this?
The Saints love getting those guys who are injured previously.
Yeah, and look, he had a very successful 2016 campaign. He was an up-and-coming wide receiver, 6'3",
66 catches, 888 yards, 4 touchdowns in 2016.
This signing is all about upgrading the Brandon Coleman position. That big presence in the middle of the field. There's big third down potential in the middle of the field. This is a replacement for Brandon Coleman. This is what this is.
Right.
They put 3 years into Brandon Coleman, waiting for him to come around.
He dropped too many balls.
He's just very inconsistent. Couldn't get open all the time. He made some big plays, but it was never. He was 10 to 15 catches a season. They want that guy to be a potential 40 to 60 receptions a season out of that guy, and that's exactly what this is. Brandon Coleman's not going to be back, in my opinion, based on this signing, and I think it's an upgrade. Brandon Coleman never performed like this young man did in 2016. Now it's all about the injury and ACL. How will he return? It's not necessarily a speed position, but if you go watch his film, if you go watch any of his highlights, he's got yak. He can get you yak, and Brandon Coleman couldn't do that. And yards after the catch are big.
That's yards after catch.
Yards after the catch.
Yak.
And
I got a friend from high school we call Yak. I was wondering what you were talking about.
You thought we were talking about him?
Yeah.
You ever ate yak? I bet he did in Indonesia.
They don't call it yak over there.
There's no yaks on the islands, I'm sure.
But yards after the catch are big. He can move. He can make people miss for a big guy. And look, if he can be healthy, man, I mean, this is a big time signing.
Speaking of,
by the way, Bears fans are not happy.
Yeah,
Bears fans think Ryan Pace blew this one.
Maybe Ryan Pace did a favor to his whole team.
They went out and they've got a former first round draft pick from 2 years ago out of West Virginia who still hasn't gotten healthy in White. They just signed a big free agent this offseason, so they couldn't pay him.
Right.
They couldn't pay him. The Saints really put a number over on the Bears, and it just shows you how good Mickey Loomis and those guys are looking for specific players and putting a contract in there that they couldn't match.
Assuming they are 100% convinced he's healthy. And look, the Saints obviously did their due diligence on Drew Brees, and how much of that was luck? How much of that was their doctors seeing something that the Dolphins doctors didn't see back in 2006? Who knows? But the bottom line is that the New Orleans Saints medical staff has been under fire the last couple of years.
Well,
been
some
under
of them I thought
question.
were fired.
Yeah, some of them were fired. They changed groups, the whole 9 yards.
Can you imagine if this turns out like the Joe Horn signing out of Kansas City?
Right.
I mean, if this guy comes in,
It's true.
And this is a young player. This is a young player who hasn't been in the league very long, who's a free agent, and let
me ask you
this could be huge.
You bring up Joe Horn. I'm a big Joe Horn fan.
You like the barbecue sauce?
Everybody's got a barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
but
that's
no,
true.
I don't think I've had the Joe Horn barbecue. I have had the Charles Alexander.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I've had it too.
Charles Alexander.
I've got like 3 of them in my cabinet.
He gave us all up.
Yeah, the seasoning.
He didn't buy it.
But I would say this.
I think it was at when we were at the
Co-op
co-op
bookstore doing the
Oh my
pregame
God.
a few years ago.
You just
licked it?
You just
Oh my
licked-
God.
You just licked the microphone?
You know how many
I got
people?
it.
No, that's T-Bob's. I think that's T-Bob's.
Yeah, that is T-Bob.
Yeah, I think
I've got 8.
I think you've got. No, he doesn't have. He just had a kid and all. He's fine. But I mean,
This
he's
is unbelievable. Like, really? You got?
Well, he's an actor. He's been in some B movies. If you IMDb Joel Davis, there's like 3 movies or something that picks up if you IMDb him, and he's an actor, so he's dramatic. I'm used to it. My college roommate was Louis Garcia,
which is a great actor.
And Louis Garcia he's an actor, been in many, many movies. Luis, Luis Garcia, check him out. And, of course, he owns Garcia Seafood over in Miami, and he played baseball at LSU. Extremely over-the-top guy, very dramatic. They could be brothers from another mother, Joel and Louis.
I miss me some Louis. I'm upset about that trip y'all going on. I couldn't make it.
By the way, we'll wait for Joel to wash his mouth out with soap because he accidentally licked the microphone that T-Bob Hebert and many others, Jimmy Ott and others have used on this show. I think Ryan Terrio licks that, uses that microphone. So because of that, Joel is wiping it. While we're waiting on him, go ahead.
I was going to say, can I give you my Joe? You were talking about Joe Horn, and I know I don't have a lot to contribute to it, but I do want to give my Joe Horn story. So this was about the first or second year of the Red Rock and Blue, the annual event that
Jacques
Joel
Doucet.
Davis.
Yeah.
Jacques Doucet.
Joel would never put on a charity event.
No, Jacques Doucet puts on. It's a great event, and this was way before it was at Tiger Park. It was at Oak Villa Park, over there
by Cortana Mall.
Yeah. And
Are you okay, Joel?
I got to be honest with you, man. When that
you might
happened,
want to put the screen. We are the world screen.
I can't believe. Look, when that thing touched my mouth, all I could see was all the. Because when people talk, especially spit, and if you listen to Matt Moscona's show yesterday, Matt Moscona, he was upset at the end. I mean, he was fired up.
Yeah, so there's a lot of saliva,
especially on your mic, because I think he's on your side. So you got to believe that's. There we go. That's exactly what I need. I need that. I need that. Yes.
Thank you, Tony. The windscreen.
Woo!
Buzz still got it.
Tony's got an Afro windscreen that we put on the.
So on your mic. That's particles. Nice. Mouth particles and juice and everything comes flying out and it sticks to this mic, and nobody cleans these mics. Right. These mics have never. You literally can get hepatitis C from these mics.
Okay, that's ridiculous. By the way, that windscreen's going to be just as bad.
Tony was just sitting on that. He was just sitting on that screen.
I mean, seriously,
when it touched my mouth,
you have right there is not going to be a lot better.
That's not any better.
And that's what needs to happen.
No, hey, right here.
Tell us the tune. There you go. Okay, we get them right there.
It's a generic brand, so it's okay.
That's all right. We can start.
Got disinfectant wipes and everything going on here.
I mean, my life passed before my eyes.
All right, let's get back to it. Buzzy had a Joe Horn comment. He had one. Let's let him.
My washer and dryer. I think I got to answer this real quick.
You need to catch that?
No, the power went out at my house in Denham as we have a storm going through Baton Rouge here on Saturday morning as we do the show live on the radio and tape for TV. So you've got a smart system or something.
I'm getting washer and dryer
delivered today?
and that was
congratulations.
it.
They're not coming today, by the way.
They shouldn't.
They're
huh?
not.
Yeah.
They're not.
But we went local in Port Allen, so it's just literally like a 3-minute drive. What a big covered.
What's up, Balello's?
And they've got a covered truck, Ronnie.
Yeah.
So they can get to
as
you
opposed to
in the rain.
Windhaven, they're not delivering this weekend.
No.
So go ahead.
Real quick, I'll make it short and simple. It was
Joe
like
Horn.
the first or second time Jock had put on the event. It was at Oak Villa, so the crowds were good, but it wasn't like it is now. Joe Horn's playing. I'm on his team, and he couldn't fit. He's like, man, what's going? I keep hitting. Why can't I hit the ball, man? I said, Joe.
That's how he talks.
Yeah. I said, Joe. I said, listen. When you think you need a swing, I said, this is tough, man. I said, when the ball's coming in, it's coming in like -2 miles an hour. It's like stopping before it gets to you. I said, when you think you need a swing, wait another half a second.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm not, hand to the Lord, hits the ball out the park. I gone the next at bat. He comes in and he's like, what that guy?
Where that white dude at?
that hit the last home run in old Alex Box Stadium. And I don't know how he knew, but he knew.
You told
me.
me.
Came to me. He said, Brad, he gave me the dab. He was in love with me. So every time he's like, what do I need to do? I was coaching Joe Horn. I just wanted to give you that.
You're Joe Horn's personal softball coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And so he was fired up. And,
All right, here's my question to Joel. Joe Horn or Brandon Stokely? Who would you rather have?
Joe Horn.
Okay.
Joe Horn and Brandon Stokely?
Well, here's the thing. Brandon Stokely's getting inducted into Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame this June. And in the meeting, I was only one of 35 votes with the Louisiana Sports Writers Association board. And now, with Louisiana, just for folks how do you get into Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame? You have to have played either 2 years high school in Louisiana or 2 years college.
So I've got a shot.
Or 5 years. You could be on the ballot. Or 5 years professional. Now, Joe got the 5. He played 6 in New Orleans, so he got in there on the ballot, do the 5. I think what put Brandon over the top was, besides the fact that he had Dan McDonald and some others really lobbying for him out of the Lafayette area, was his high school, college, pro career
from
combination.
Louisiana.
Como
He won
guy,
a Super Bowl.
UL set an NCAA record for receiving average yards per catch per game as a freshman in college for freshman receivers. So I think the combination of his career was what put him over the top.
Was he in the
as opposed
NFL
to
for like
just
12
6
years?
15.
Yeah, I mean,
and won a Super Bowl with
look,
the Ravens.
I think Joe Horn is a better player than Brandon Stokely.
Me too.
In their prime.
Me too.
Okay, but Brandon Stokely clearly should go into the Louisiana Hall of Fame before Joe Horn. I think Joe Horn should be a candidate
One day, yeah, he's on the ballot for sure.
He's a superstar in New Orleans. And he came from, nobody knew who he was when they signed him as a free agent out of Kansas City. I mean, nobody. Who's Joe Horn? Why are we signing this dude? Why are we giving this big contract to this guy? But Brandon Stokely, what he did in high school, what he did in college at UL, and what he did in the pros, won a Super Bowl.
Did you just say UL?
Yeah, I did.
Your stepdad's
USL.
not going to.
Yeah, I got to see him tomorrow.
He might put something in your dinner. You better be careful.
Not going to be happy, huh?
No, he's not. He's going to give me a hard time.
Yeah.
But yeah, what he did throughout his career at all 3 levels, and then winning a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. Not only that, I think he caught a touchdown pass in that game.
Did he not win any with Peyton?
Didn't he beat?
He was with Peyton in Indianapolis, but they didn't win when he was there.
He caught a touchdown, but it was from Trent Dilfer, and it was there it is, and look who's Jason Sehorn was the corner.
Jason Sehorn
was the corner in that position in that game, and I'll never forget that. Yeah, he did. And Brandon Stokely, look, obviously needs to be in the Louisiana Hall of Fame before Joe Horn, but I still think Joe Horn was the better NFL player. But that guy right there, 15 years in the league, 14 years in the league, that is a consummate pro. That's a guy that had longevity. And
wait, 2-time Super Bowl champion.
2-time Super Bowl champion.
Okay, so he did get one.
Yeah, he won with the Broncos.
Broncos.
That's right, with Peyton Manning. So that's unbelievable. You'll have a lot of fun inducting him.
He's a good guy. He does sports talk radio up in Denver. He does a daily show up there with some guys in Denver. Does a great job and has had a real nice life after football. And he and Peyton, of course, are real tight. Jake Delhomme was his quarterback in college. Jake's already in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. And his dad, Nelson Stokely, was the head football coach for the Raging Cajuns for many years. Yeah. Nelson, a former LSU quarterback, played quarterback for the Tigers back in the day. So, anyway, going to be real neat. But, yeah,
but if I had to, I want Joe Horn. And when he was with the New Orleans Saints those first 2, 3, 4 years, or Brandon Joe Horn was a number 1 receiver.
Right.
He was a number 1 guy. He wasn't, a number 2. Brandon Stokely was always like a number 2, a number 3 option. But Joe Horn in New Orleans, his first 3, 4 years, was a legitimate number 1 receiver in the NFL.
Brandon Stokely coming out of was a yeah.
God dang! I mean, really?
I mean, I mean, here in studio, there's a big screen right behind us, and
they can see it on TV.
And
What's he, a
people,
the
radio.
the three
The radio.
people driving through the storm might be listening to us. By the way, the Baltimore Ravens drafted him in the 4th round in 1999. Brandon Stokely out of UL, and he went on to win a Super Bowl in 2001, and then later on with the Broncos signed a 3-year extension with them back in 2007. Let's see, came back a second time around. He went to the Seahawks, the Giants. Second stint with the Broncos was when Peyton Manning was there. And then...
You know what that tells me? When you see a guy moving around that late in his career, look, we got to go to break. But that tells me that he was a coach towards the end of his career. Let's get this guy in where he can work with some of our young receivers. He's the perfect person to have in a locker room, in those meeting rooms. So that's why he moved around so much towards the end of his
I
career.
think he won a Super Bowl with Seattle, maybe.
No, he was not with Seattle.
He was on that team.
It was the Broncos.
How can we not figure this out?
We're going to go to break. While you look at that,
Was it
we'll go
Broncos?
to
I
break.
don't know,
We'll be right back
Wikipedia,
with more
yeah.
Sports Shorts.
Captivating radio with Ronnie Rance. He's reading his phone.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete and everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born.
Relief Window. Experience Relief Window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Talk Saints now.
Welcome back, everybody. Joel Davis, Ronnie Rance, Buzzy Heidel here in the LeBaire Studios. I'm Ronnie Rance. That's Joel Davis, and that's Buzzy Heidel, the guy with the good hair in the end. Before we talk some more NFL, I'm going to put a bow on the Brandon Stokely conversation, who, by the way, is in the 2018 Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction class, which will be this end of June up in Natchitoches, June 30th, actually. And there's Brandon.
We still have. Hey, Brandon.
If you want life insurance in Denver,
right.
No, he actually does
successful
Sports
Wall
Talk
Street
radio
broker.
But he won a Super Bowl with the Ravens in 2001 and with the Colts in 2007. He was on that team. That was his last year in Indy. By the way, that 2007 Colts team was the Prince halftime, the famous halftime show where Prince played Purple Rain in the rain and all that. It was amazing. They beat the Bears. That was his 2 Super Bowl titles, and then of course he went on to have a long career. And we'll get inducted alongside Reggie Wayne, by the way, who he played with in Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. Reggie Wayne's going to get inducted this summer as well. A lot of great events. We got a golf tournament. We got a bowling event. All types of things going on. That's the weekend of June 28th through July 1st up in Alexandria and Natchitoches. Go to lasportshall.com for more info. But let me bring in Tony, who, of course, does a great job on all the ESPN shows here in Baton Rouge. Tony's producing our show on the TV side. So, yeah, for those that can't hear us on the radio, that's Lloyd the intern that's doing your show. But for those that can see us and hear us on the TV, that is Tony. Tony, you were a Raging Cajun water ski guy, which is amazing considering you're 300 pounds now.
Excuse me?
Well, 295. I'm sorry. But you were a water ski guy, and there's a connection. There's a connection to you, 6 degrees of Tony separation between you and Brandon Stokely. Tell us about it.
Yes, indeed. I mean, a few nights after he actually won the Super Bowl.
You can show yourself on TV, by the way, if you want to 2-box it or something.
You don't need to behold that ugliness. Anyway. A few nights after the Super Bowl victory for Brandon Stokely, he came back to Lafayette and he was set to receive an award from the UR athletic department and from the big mascot called Cayenne at the time.
Pepper, the old Pepper mascot. Didn't go over well back then.
Okay. At the time, Cayenne Pepper was actually organized by the student government, and I was part of student government. And the guy that was supposed to go out there in the costume to hand him his award actually got the flu in the last moment. And so I had to step inside the costume, and I ended up giving an award to a Super Bowl winner in the middle of the Cajun Dome basketball floor.
So a British guy in a pepper suit honored Brandon Stokely at halftime of a men's basketball game at the Cajun Dome.
That's absolutely right.
I bet that was a highlight of his career. I mean,
little did he know that I was in that costume.
Yeah, if he'd only known, Tony. Well, Tony, maybe we'll dress you up in the costume, bring you up to Natchitoches for the Hall of Fame. We can reenact
That'd be hilarious.
Is there any way we can get this thing made into a I don't know, like a mascot? This O with a headset, this brilliant
What type
design.
of mascot would you like?
I don't know, this thing, and it could just sit here and bounce around the studio, with this magnificent design.
What goes on in your head?
I'm just saying, everybody needs a mascot. Ronnie has created a mascot.
He's jet lagged from his trip back from Indonesia.
Maybe you could go out and actually get that sponsor for us. How about that? And then we can
I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. Any sponsor, this guy.
Yeah.
Lamondang.
I thought that was hello.
No, that is Salamat Pagi.
Okay.
Which is, by the way, what time is it? Yeah, it's still Salamat Pagi, because at noon it turns into Salamat Sore.
Okay, let's get back to the show for a second and tell me about.
You know how that works. Good morning, good afternoon, good
evening.
Good night,
good evening.
Salamat Malam is in the evening. Just let you know, just for the layperson.
I mean, it's just out of control. I mean, by the way, is jet lag a real thing?
Yes, it is. Is it?
I mean,
brother, I can't.
Is your clock fixed? You got back Wednesday. It's Saturday now.
Well, I got back. I left on Tuesday. I didn't get, and there's, I get time back. So I didn't get back till Wednesday morning. It's a 30-hour trip to get back. So I get back Wednesday morning. I had to go to work Wednesday. I had to go to Sacred Heart of Ville Platte.
Yeah.
And I was driving.
So which direction did you fly? Did you fly westward or eastward?
West. I go to Los Angeles. I go west. So
okay,
Los
so
Angeles,
you're not crossing the international date line or anything?
No. I'm not going over Europe. I think that's a dangerous thing to go that way. I really do. I just don't like it.
Well, there's an accident,
there's all kinds of things.
Went up in the air.
There's all kinds of things flying in the air over there I don't like. So any chance.
Get hijacked in East Africa.
If you're going that way, it just brings up a lot of potential problems.
Yeah.
No Europe for this guy.
So, by the way,
Asia's okay.
but the final segment of the show, Buzzy and I are going to talk Europe because I'm taking my first trip ever to
Scotland.
Europe the first week of May, going to Scotland. Buzz, we're going to talk about that because it involves golf, so Buzzy's excited.
And I got to tell you about who I went to see for my birthday in Beau Rivage. You'll get a kick out of it. I don't know if you'll know him, but
who is it, by the way?
It's David Faraday.
David Faraday. There you
golfer.
go.
He was a golfer, and he's an announcer now.
Yeah,
I remember. He's from Ireland. He's great, and we'll talk about that.
I actually met David Faraday. I got a story. We'll talk about that the next segment coming up. But for right now, we'll do some Joel Davis. LSU and Saints football. By the way, first off, Coach O, Nabs, New Orleans native, and graduate transfer defensive back Terrence Alexander from Stanford. So he'll pick up the defense quick. He is eligible immediately. 41 games at Stanford, at 57 tackles, an interception, 8 passes defended, and his senior season was cut short after just one game when he suffered a forearm injury, which shut him down. He went to John Curtis, so that's a nice get. That's a great get for Coach O. And by the way, Coach O doing a little tour, doing a 3-city tour: Shreveport, Houston, New Orleans. After the spring game, they're going to do like a little tour. I know Gordy's going on that as well. Not the Tiger tour. This is just football related. Everything's going to be football related, so that'll be neat. But getting back to the New Orleans Saints, as they head towards the draft,
which is my favorite time of the year,
needs in your opinion? What's their one or two things that you want to see them?
I still think they have to upgrade the tight end position. They have to upgrade the defensive end position.
Well, Ben Watson back. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, he's 32, 33 years old. I mean, he's a nice stopgap. I think he's a
1 year get
pro.
Probably,
yeah,
maybe
he'll be good.
Right.
I think he'll probably grab 30, 40 balls if he stays healthy. Probably 4 or 5 touchdowns. I think that he'll be a big asset to whoever they bring in. They're going to get a young tight end. They're going to draft a young tight end this year if somebody's there. I think that they have to. And it could be at 27. It could be somewhere in the 3rd round. It's a pretty deep draft for tight ends. So I believe that they'll go out and get one, whether it's during the draft or in free agency, or not in free agency, and as a free agent after the draft. So we'll see. But defensive end, they've got to get a pass rusher. And I don't think any of those people out there that you think that Arden Key is an option. Arden Key's not an option.
Arden Key is dropping like a rock in a river.
Dude,
it's unbelievable.
He sent out a tweet.
Oh, so stupid.
It was the most ridiculous tweet. First of all, you've got all these issues. You're a college athlete. Your grammar was horrible. And
you got all
these out the field issues.
And you run a terrible 40 time.
Yeah. Who is your agent?
He just won't listen.
He won't listen.
Yeah.
He will never be a New Orleans Saint. He's not going to, because we've already seen this. It's not because he's an LSU player. It's because the Saints aren't going to bring that type of person in.
Right.
They're not going to bring in someone they're going to have to worry about.
Especially someone that they know everything about, right?
Everything.
Arden Key's in their backyard. They know everything about him.
No chance.
So they're not going to get bamboozled. It's shocking what a disappointment that Arden Key is. I mean,
and he may turn out to be great.
Because that picture right there that's on our screen that was showing of Arden Key wasn't from this year, it's from last year. Because he wasn't that skinny and that in shape this past year.
This is a guy that could turn out to be a dynamite player in the NFL. He's just not going to do it with the New Orleans Saints.
He's not going to do it the first year. Like, he's going to have a come to Jesus from the standpoint of, to me, it reminds me of he needs a big brother hug, right? Like Patrick Peterson took Tyrann Mathieu under his wing.
He needs to go to New England.
He needs that type of thing.
He needs to go to New England.
Or a place where a veteran takes him under his wing that has the endorsement of the ownership and all that. Because Arden Key has the tools to be great. But listen, 6'5", 235, and you run a 4.8, 4.85.
It's horrible.
That's terrible. I mean, Ron Rance at 6'5", 255 pounds back in the day with Boots Garland on the watch, went 475, 4.8 back to back.
255.
No. As a senior in high school,
you know who might?
As a tight end
who's probably going to draft him? The Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals is exactly where because the Cincinnati Bengals love LSU players.
Marvin Lewis,
and they don't mind people with baggage. They just don't. They don't mind them. I mean, they'll go after him. They'll give him a shot. And Marvin Lewis, he just works with them, but they stay in trouble. You know, the Pac-Man Jones of the world. Go ahead.
Quick takeaway: Jarvis Landry.
He just bought Letcher.
$47 million guaranteed. 5 years, 75. $47 million.
I think it's fantastic for him. But for a slot receiver,
you'll never hear about him again.
No, well, you
because
never.
who's going to throw to him in Cleveland?
He doesn't. Who threw to him in Miami? Who threw to him in Miami?
That's true.
You know, he's going to produce regardless of who the
Tannehill
quarterback.
and
Oh my God! Look at that! Look at that!
Oh my!
Look at that.
Exactly.
That's you. You
That's
just
slobber.
saliva. You
I know.
just spit all over.
So
it.
that
Joel
I had
just
weeks
spit
of that.
on the Afro wind cover that's on his microphone.
Do you know how many particles have thrown out of your mouth during this show? It's everywhere.
It's bad. One last thing before you go.
I got to get out of here. 1 minute.
LSU basketball. Brandon Sampson is going pro.
Haven't these guys learned?
Who's telling Brandon Sampson that he should go pro? Unless he just flunked out of school and he's going to go over to Peru and play basketball.
I think,
Ronnie, what is this about? It's ridiculous.
I think this is more about
people coming in.
The people that are coming in.
You're
going to lose your job.
Yeah.
So go
you're
play in Europe.
Proud
go
to
play
stick around and battle.
That's something I saw in Indonesia. A lot of European basketball was on the TV. A lot of European basketball. Chinese.
So he can go make a good living for himself.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying he can't make a good living. If he's willing to live in a country where he doesn't speak the language and he doesn't like the food,
there's a lot of money
he's
out
going to make some money.
Absolutely.
Okay? He's going to make some money. But Brandon Sampson, leaving to go pro to declare for the draft. Buzz, you might as well declare. Joel, we can declare. Why don't we declare for the 3-on-3 league?
He's better than us.
It's absurd.
Sampson's better than
it's
us.
absurd. All right.
He's got skills.
We come back. Buzzy and I are going to talk golf. We're going to break down my trip to Scotland that's coming up and what I'm doing to train with the good folks over at Greystone Golf and Country Club. And Buzzy met his idol, Mr. Faraday. We'll be back with more Sports Shorts right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everybody. Final segment of Sports Shorts. Ronnie Rance alongside Buzzy Heidel, former state champion baseball player at East Ascension High School, went on to win a national title with the LSU Tigers in baseball in 2009, and now just stay-at-home dad selling insurance.
I like that, though. I like the East Ascension drop-in, too.
Yeah, I did that for the Spartans.
That's great.
This final segment, we're going to talk golf. The Masters wrapped up last week. I see you got your Masters shirt on. Give a little flash.
I do.
That was from when you went 3 years ago. There it is.
Boom.
The Patrick Reed wins the title. I know you know who that is.
Yes.
I know you've crossed paths with Patrick.
Yeah.
Went to U-High, and I've never heard of a guy that's won the Masters and in the following week more negative press.
Is it amazing? I mean, I was actually happy he won. Now, when it got down to it, I was pulling for Ricky Fowler. I wish Reed would have bogeyed. I don't wish bad on him. I mean, but I wanted Reed to either bogey 17 or 18 and force a playoff, and I was really pulling for Fowler. I've always been a Fowler fan. I like the Baton Rouge, Louisiana connection with Reed. You hear a lot of stuff, but I'm happy for him. I was glad he won the Masters. I really was. I mean, I didn't want Rory. I know he was going for the Slam. I didn't want somebody. I just, if it wasn't going to be Fowler, I was glad it was Reed.
Yeah, I mean Reed. Obviously we hate the story about his mom and dad aren't really a part of his life and haven't been for about 5 years, and there's a falling out there. That's pretty crappy because you only got one pair of parents, and there's really nothing should come between you. No matter what. And, the story goes basically that, he chose his wife and, over his parents. And there was, maybe some, who knows all the true gory stuff, but there was a disconnect there between the wife and or his future wife and the parents and whatnot. But that said, that part is saddening and disappointing. But happy for him and Patrick, a friend of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, Foundation, helped support the golf tournament last year with a donation and sponsorship of the tee boxes. So from a Hall of Fame Foundation president, well, congratulations, Patrick Reed. But it was an exciting Sunday. I mean, unbelievable. The golf that was played Jordan Spieth was out of his mind, and then he hits the tree on the drive.
And we've been there,
18.
Coach, and I mean, if you hadn't been there, you don't know. That's a tight gap.
It's tight.
Now it winds up when you get up.
It's Greystone tight.
It's tight, Coach. And when he hit it, I was saying what he was saying. Just get through. Just get enough yardage.
Right.
And he still should have parred the hole. I mean, he had like a 4-footer that he just pulled. And, if he'd have parred it, he'd have been 14. Of course, Ricky ended up birdieing and became 14. But you never know what that does. If Reed sees like, holy hell, Spieth was 9 down. Now I've got so maybe that puts a little more pressure. Not to mention if Spieth would have birdied 18 and got to 15, and then you'd have been talking about it'd have been just an unbelievable way to finish.
Still great.
It was still great, and it was still exciting, and that's what the back nine of the Masters does for you.
And it bodes well for the future of golf, right? You see Fowler and Spieth and Reed and all these young guys. I mean, it's going to be incredible to watch them move forward and everything that they do. All right, so I've never been to Europe, Buzz. I've never been to Europe. I'm going to Europe the first week of May with 16 guys, all from South Florida. We're going to Scotland. We're playing 8 rounds in 6 days. Now, just that right there. If you told me I was going to Greystone Golf and Country Club in Denham Springs and playing 8 rounds in 6 days, I'd probably go, oh, I better get in shape. I better get ready because I don't play 8 rounds in a year, probably.
Right.
So 8 rounds in 6 days is a lot of golf. Walking, no carts. Now, you do have caddies, so you're not carrying your bag, but 8 rounds in 6 days, walking. That if you do the math, 8 rounds in 6 days means 2 of those days you're playing in the morning and you're playing in the evening. And I don't know much about Scotland. We'll bring in Tony, who's from Britain, from the islands. There's a lot of hills and mountains and ruggedness over there.
It's rugged. Absolutely.
Are you going to get?
There's a lot of up and down.
A lot of undulations. It depends upon the course that you go for. If you're going to go to St Andrews, that's on the coast. There are some undulations, but not quite as much.
What about Carnoustie?
Do
you know anything about Carnoustie or where that is or anything?
Carnoustie's they played the British Open there.
Apart from the fact that was the course where Van der Vold.
That's where he blew up and had 4 over or whatever in the last hole.
Yeah.
But no, Coach, we're playing 5 British Open courses.
That's great.
Of the 8 rounds.
But isn't the weather not great either? I mean, isn't like sideways
it's gonna be 50
rain?
degrees and rainy.
Oh, it can turn on a dime
Yeah,
just
right.
like that.
So you've got to make sure that, and you
I've
know
got
this,
the rain
you got to
gloves,
have
the rain
everything
gear,
in
everything.
the bag, like
Yeah.
ready to go in case it changes.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to be able to suit up and.
So we've got the walking. We've got 8 rounds in 6 days. We've got up and down. We've got very difficult courses.
Yeah.
We've got weather issues. I mean, Coach, this is just a recipe for disaster. Knowing me as a golfer, what would you give? What would be my handicap if you were on this trip? Knowing me as a golfer and all of that, realistically, what would you?
This is what I'm going to miss about not being on this trip. Just FYI, you and Louis Garcia in the hotel room figuring out your handicap
with 16 guys. It's Wanchi,
but I want
Tico,
and
Neme, all of them.
All those guys figuring out your handicap because I got a small dosage of that at Streamsong in Florida. Because Louis just cannot fathom that you're a 28 handicap.
Right.
He just can't fathom it. He's like, it doesn't make sense to him that you were a Division I athlete, you play professionally baseball, and that you cannot focus more.
Right.
That was his main thing, focus more.
He was just try harder.
Try harder. And so, it's going to be tough for you, big guy.
I think like 36 is a real possibility.
Oh, God.
I think 36 is a possibility. I hate to say it, but I mean, like, if I break 100, I'm going to do the happy dance.
But it's not going to be a 36 because you're getting lessons from
Oh, I'm getting lessons from Chris Bergstaller at Greystone. That's what the next couple of weeks is about. I've got to cram for the final. And Chris Bergstaller over at Greystone, who you know well because he gave you lessons at the Island a few years ago, and you said he's the best.
He's great. He really is. You're going to love him. He relates well. And if anybody can fix your game, Ronnie, which this is a long shot, I don't even know if Bergstaller can be, but he is the best. And if anybody can fix it, he will.
I'm getting 5 private lessons with Chris Bergstaller over the next 2 weeks, and I leave on the 29th of April to head over and we're going to video document it.
I need the
trip
picture on the at the St. Andrews on the bridge with that
absolutely.
Lego.
It's coming. And then when we come back, Chris is going to be in studio. He's going to, next week, Chris is going to join us. He's going to break down my game. He's going to tell the folks out there how bad it is and what we have to work on. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, because I need Chris Bergstaller at Greystone. And by the way, he's available for lessons. You can call Greystone Golf and Country Club in Denham Springs, schedule a lesson, because everybody in town says he's the best. And we'll see. We'll see if he's the best. He needs to make magic happen.
He's got a lot of work to do. I'm just going to tell you.
He's Buzzy Heidel. I'm Ronnie Rance. Thanks to Joel Davis, who joined us on the show today. Sports Shorts every Saturday morning, 10 to noon Saturday mornings. And, of course, Pelican broadcasting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Have a good one, everybody.